Could you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your Muay Thai test with Ajarn Chai?
Oh, it's one of the hardest things I ever done. I think the knockout ratio was 8-2 that you got knocked out. A lot of people did. They actually failed things back then, And I know Phil Norman went out. He done his as well. He passed his. But yeah, I had. You had to do the seminar first. You didn't get it. You didn't just walk in and do your test. That would be too easy. That'd be way too. So you had to do the seminar with him first, and you had to do all those wonderful hundreds of kicks on the Thai pads at the end that he loves to do with everybody.
Yeah.
And up to that, you had about half-hour rest, and then you had to do the test. So you're running on the back of a full seminar, and so I think my conditioning was at that age kind of as fit as what I was going to be. Kastahelski fed me on the focus pads, and then I had 2 people feeding me on the Thai pads, one from out of state, and then another one. The Chinese lad, he still trains with Guru Dan now. I cannot remember for his name, but I saw him. Yeah, it will. And I go, oh yeah, it was him. I messaged you him. I messaged his name. But I saw him out when I was out in the States in August, and I showed him the picture. Do you remember this guy? Oh God, yeah, he's still out there. He's still training.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I think you had to get something like 40 kicks and 60 knees in. That was compulsory. If you didn't get those in, you failed. And then you'd have to feed up, hitting you in the second round. You had to do the round Muay, the dance, shadow box, pad work. A very hard test. Very hard test.
The test was legendary back in those days. I mean,
God, yeah.
I don't know. I've seen one of the tests like in the last decade, and still looked incredibly hard. You know what I mean? And but the tests were legendary. I remember whenever Master Chai would come to Chicago, our group in Central Illinois, some guys would go up. But they always scared the hell out of me. Each and every time, right before, they'd be like, "Well, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this," and I was like, and they're like, "You want to go?" And I was like, I think I got a thing that day. If you could show me those elbows, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll break into it. Yeah, especially when they say you could get knocked out. Yeah, I'll take a pass on that.
Well, at the time, I just wasn't ready for it. Later I had an opportunity to train with Master Chai, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. But, the stories of legend of what like you went through, and I heard the first generation go through. I was cool on all that right at the beginning in my martial arts career.
Yes, yeah. It was either you wanted it or you didn't. There was no middle of the road. You can't sort of do a Thai test,
No,
it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You either have to do it, and you've got to train hard for it. You fortunately, Bert Richardson was over, I think about 3 months before I went out, and he'd done a mock-up test for me, and it was, I got my legs battered, I got my legs kicked to smithereens, and it was a wake-up call. It was like, right, I've seriously got to take this seriously, and that's when I good solid test where it was really good fun at that time as well. We were also I think one of the first Europeans, certainly the first English lot, to get in with the Dog Brothers, Mark Denny, House, and they soon gave us a wake up call. They those guys are something else as well. They were doing full contact stick fighting, just getting ready to push the Dog Brothers VHS video series, and we were there just as that was ready to go. And I've never fought such a hard 1 minute round and get beaten so badly off Mark.
I bet, man.
Because they would have these sessions at the end of the evening at the academy, and it was, if you wanted to do it, you could do it. If not, you didn't have to. But that's when Eric and Mark that's when we would jump in with these guys. We were staying there anyway, so we just sort of jumped in and got involved, and that was That was a reality check, because it was full contact stick fighting, not points. It's hard.
It's full
It was full on.
contact stick fighting, right? I
Yeah,
just had an
you up.
opportunity this year to go to the gathering and see one of my friends, Michelle
That
Kuzma,
must have
do
been
the
sick.
fight, you
Wow.
know? And
Yeah.
once again, it was awesome, and there was a lot to it. There was so much,
Yeah.
but I think maybe even they might have toned down somewhat. I
Yeah.
mean, as we all do when we get older sometimes, because it
Yeah.
hurts,
I mean,
right?
yeah, for sure. I remember watching Eric Nels go up against someone with a whip, with like a 8 steel whip, and this guy was, and he was like, and I was like, Eric, you're mad. What are you doing? And he was all right. I'm going to try and crash in, and that guy's a frightening phenomenon as well. Eric Nels.